Hi, I'm Theo Chethui, one half of the writing team behind the Holmwood Foundation. We are releasing this episode as part of our crowdfunding campaign to produce the rest of Season 1. So if you like what you hear, please consider donating to our Kickstarter so we can make the rest of the Holmwood Foundation a reality. The Kickstarter address is available in the show notes. You can find us at the Holmwood Foundation on various social media, including Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. Thank you for listening, and please enjoy the episode.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm pressing the button, so I hope this is working. This is Madeline Townsend, Junior Archivist. I've just finished processing specimens 26 and 27, a knife and a silver ring from the Carpathians dig, and I'm about to unwrap specimen 28, a human skull, also unearthed during the Carpathians dig. So it looks like it arrived in one piece. You'll be pleased to hear that, Arthur. What? Hello? Is someone there? Mr. Larkin? Mr. Larkin?
You are listening to the Holmwood Foundation. Episode 1, Across the Moors. Content warning. This episode contains swearing, threat, brief emergency sirens, themes of possession/removal of bodily autonomy, and depictions of violence. Listener discretion is advised. Please see the show notes for more information.
We now turn to our breaking news story this evening with reports of a serious incident unfolding in Whitby. The Lucy Westenra building, belonging to the international charity the Holmwood Foundation, appears to have collapsed. 2 people, a man and a woman, are currently missing, with at least 5 reported dead and many others injured. All main roads and pathways leading up to the building have been closed off, and the general public has been warned to keep away from the area. More on this story as it develops.
What the hell happened back there?
I don't know. How did we get outside? We were just in the archives.
They're following us!
How could they be following us?
I don't fucking know!
We should go back! Call for help!
Go back! We torn apart! I can't let go of the head. Why can't I let go of the fucking... Please, we cannot lose it. Mina, tell him.
I'm Maddie, I'm not... Ah! This way.
What happened?
This way.
Onto the moors. Are you insane?
Would you rather remain here, chased by monsters? Keep hold of the head. This way. Now. How best to do this? Hello, this is Maddie. Oh. Hello, this is Maddie. If you followed Jeremy's instructions...
Oh, for Christ's sake, no! Don't you dare drag me into this. Talk to Mina bloody Harker on your own.
But... Oh, not this again. How else will she know how to record?
This is Jeremy Larkin. I am tired, I am hungry, and I refuse to leave messages for whatever fucking delusion is going on inside my head. Thank you so much.
Okay, you've made your point. Please, just be careful with that. It's fragile.
Of all the bloody things to take with us. Not a bag, a coat, a phone, perhaps, so we could let someone know where we are. No, a recorder, and that fucking head.
Well, we weren't exactly ourselves at the time.
No.
So you're not even slightly curious about what the Harkers have to say? Why they're here? I'm speaking to Jonathan. He seems just as confused.
Jonathan isn't real. Just some kind of break from reality after the nightmare back at the West End building. As if things weren't bad enough.
Can I at least have the recorder back, please?
I might keep it, actually.
For what?
To record my intentions, in case I suffer another goddamn blackout and you go traipsing off across the moors again.
Intentions?
I want to go to London.
London?
The Foundation has offices there.
Are you mad? With those things hunting us?
The thralls will be taken care of by the Foundation extraction teams. When we get to London, we'll be safe.
Yeah, but what if the thralls follow us? You realise that makes everyone around us unsafe. And just how are we supposed to get to London from here?
As soon as I find a phone, I'll call the office. They'll help us send a car or something.
Well, that could be days from now. What do we do until then? Just keep walking, ignoring the Harkers, and hope the thralls don't reach us first?
Do you have a better plan? Because I fail to see you providing one. Besides talking to imaginary spectres.
I'm doing the best I can, Mr. Larkin. We can't do this on our own. These recordings, this whole plan, is so we can work together.
Work together? You have trapped me out here with a piece of a monster. Do you have any idea of the danger you put us in?
It was Jonathan's idea to steal the head, not mine.
Jonathan Harker is dead.
And possessing you, I'm sorry to say. He knows about the undead. He can help us.
God, I hate this. I hate that we're even talking about this. The Foundation can help us. The Foundation will help us, and I will not be relying on this stupid little recorder to save me.
Well, can I at least have the stupid little recorder back, please?
Fine. Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's Maddie again. Please, disregard the previous entry. Mr. Larkin, Jeremy, isn't taking this very well, and honestly, I don't really blame him. Just wish he was a bit nicer about it. Right, so, either he's explained everything to you, or you've read the instructions I've left in my notebook, so you should now understand how to use the recorder. I thought, since we're all stuck like this, we might as well try to communicate, right? No matter what Jeremy says. I know the modern world is probably terrifying, but I'll assist as best I can. And if this method really does let us talk, maybe I could try a proper instruction. Hi, hello. Good day. My name is Madeline Townsend. Up until recently, I was a history teacher in Exeter. And then my boyfriend, my male friend, Arthur, convinced me to move to Whitby for a career change. But then this happened to me, to us. As I record this, it's June the 9th, 2024, at about 11 a.m. It's been a day and a half since we left Whitby, and we're travelling by foot across the Yorkshire moors. The head is in a rucksack, wrapped in a carrier bag. Jeremy won't even look at it, so I've got it. We seem to have lost the creatures that were following us, but I keep thinking I hear them off in the distance. Those screams. We're heading towards civilization, somewhere with a phone, at least. Our mobiles were stuck inside the tech lockers at the Foundation when the building collapsed, which means that they were likely crushed. You probably don't know what a mobile is, but if you see someone on the road, just ask if you can borrow theirs. Jeremy will know how to use one. They're like, small portable telephones. We stole a tent from a campsite yesterday, which I feel awful about. But we have no money, no car, no real food, just some granola bars and tins of beans. Although we were able to find a map, so things are looking up. We don't want to draw the creatures into public spaces, so we're staying off the beaten track, no main hiking pathways. Once we're able, we'll call for help. But after what happened in Whitby, well, we just need to keep moving for everyone's sake. I noticed Jonathan took another crack at the head last night. If you could ask him not to do that.
Madeline?
What?
Miss Townsend?
Huh?
What's happened? Are you there?
Jonathan! Like this, see? It's got a nice satisfying click.
So, with just a press of this button, you can replicate the work of a phonograph recorder. How fascinating.
And if you touch it again, the recording stops.
Shall I press it now?
Yeah, just like...
And on it goes again. Mina will be impressed. Such advancements in technology.
Do you think you'll be able to show her?
I believe so. No doubt the process will seem much easier to her than to me.
You seem to pick it up pretty well yourself.
Thank you.
You really aren't Mr. Larkin, are you? I mean, he basically told me that if I ever made him use this recorder, he was going to smash it with a rock.
I will do no such thing to it, I assure you. No, I am Jonathan Harker. I apologize. We must seem invasive, like parasites. This strange afterlife is as mystifying to us as it is to you.
It's fine. It's fine. Actually, it's not fine at all, but we're all in the same horrifying boat together at this point, so...
This is not my first encounter with such nightmares as we are currently facing, at least in part. I will assist as best I can.
Thank you. Really?
I hate to ask, but my wife, is she...
I've left her some recordings on this, so she knows what's happening. But, sorry. The blackouts come and go. I can't communicate with her any other way.
Of course. No more than I can communicate with Mr. Larkin, I suppose.
Perhaps if I can find some way to connect with her, maybe work out what triggers the switch.
No. I would never ask you to surrender control like that. I understand. Truly, I do. Please, forget I mentioned it.
You tried to destroy the head again this morning, didn't you? Before I woke up. I noticed the bag was open.
I know what you told me, Ms. Townsend, but you don't understand.
No, I do understand. I know what that monster did to you. But the Foundation has been trying for years. Every piece of Dracula they were able to uncover. I've seen the photos.
Are you saying we shouldn't even try?
I'm saying the head needs to be back with the Foundation, not out here with us. They'll know how to properly handle it.
If they have been attempting for over a century without success, what makes our effort any lesser than theirs?
They can safeguard it, like they've done with the other pieces. Ensure he can't hurt anyone else.
And those other vampiric creatures?
Thralls. They're what broke out of cold storage.
I remember them. Foul shades of the undead.
I don't know why they woke up. But that's why we have this. To help communicate between ourselves, coordinate properly. As soon as we can, we'll contact help.
And what of Mr. Larkin?
And what about him?
Will he communicate?
I suppose we'll just have to work around him for now.
This is your evening news update with North Yorkshire Radio. 7 people have been killed and many more injured in Whitby after a building was destroyed by a large explosion in the early hours of Tuesday morning. Emergency services were called at approximately 6:30 p.m. on the 7th of June 2024. Images from the scene show considerable damage to the front of the building, which is situated on the edge of the North Yorkshire moors. Police have requested that people avoid the surrounding area while they carry out their investigations. Robert Swales, 26, told us he was in his home when he heard a loud bang outside.
So I thought I heard something weird outside, right? Like this loud thud. So I ran onto the street and all these car alarms were going off. When I looked up to the cliffs over there, the foundation building was on fire. I could swear I saw people moving about in the flames. Shut off the road. Said they couldn't confirm if it was a gas explosion or not. That's what they always say, isn't it? That old building creeps me out.
The property, known locally as the Lucy Westenra building, was one of several belonging to the Holmwood Foundation, a medical research charity with bases across the globe. We have reached out to the organisation's CEO, Jonathan Harker, but he has declined to comment. A North Yorkshire Fire and Rescue Service spokeswoman told us that they believe no foul play was involved in the incident.
Oh, I believe it's working.
Great! Fucking great!
As previously stated, I would appreciate you not using such language in front of me, Mr. Larkin.
And I would appreciate you not fucking being here. But we can't all get what we want, isn't it?
Well, as I have started to record, I shall leave a note, as per Madeline's instructions. Madeline, thank you for the detailed explanation of how to use your recorder. I think this idea of yours is quite brilliant, actually. Already I can feel myself understanding this world better. The route we are to take, the spaces between sleep. I have been able to hear my husband again and know he is safe. I will state for the record that it has been 3 hours since your last recording. It is the 9th of June, 2024. A date that does make my brain rather dizzy. Now, I will also state for the record who I am. My name is Wilhelmina Harker, widow of Jonathan Harker, and was in life the co-founder of the Holmwood Foundation, along with my dear friend Lord Arthur Godalming. It is horrific to think part of it has been destroyed in the manner we witnessed 2 nights ago. I'm sorry we were unable to retrieve your portable telephone devices as we fled. Had I known of their existence, I would have ensured that they were used. I feel that some background might be of help to share what I understand of the world, and then perhaps you could also share with me, collect our knowledge, as it were. Arthur and I established the Foundation with a central purpose: to protect the public from Count Dracula and all remnants of his evil. Partly due to my own actions, the Count is now considered a purely fictional monster, but I am afraid he was very real. My husband and I, along with our dear friends, fought him when I was still a young woman. We were able to stop him temporarily, but alas, only temporarily. Whilst we made sure some of our story was shared with the public, it did not have as cheerful an ending as our dear Bram made it seem.
Dear Bram.
Mr. Larkin, would you prefer to tell this story, or shall I?
No, please, carry on, Mrs. Harker.
As I was saying, the events were changed to hide certain truths, to create a fiction that would entertain. It became a story to highlight the dangers of the undead, but curtain the full and terrible truth. I spent decades building the foundation with Arthur, raising my son and securing our family legacy, before I eventually succumbed to illness. Then, as Madeline and Mr. Larkin are aware, I awoke from my eternal sleep and found myself trapped in the body of another woman. My husband Jonathan, to whom I have not yet been able to speak, was trapped in the body of another man. We seem to share custody over our own consciousness, although we do not appear to have control over how and when the switch occurs, nor do we know what is happening when our other self is awake. Mr. Larkin, do you feel that was an adequate explanation?
You mean apart from the fact that I never agreed to any of this? Yes, fine, certainly. That about sums it up.
Should I mention anything else of note?
How should I know? This is Madeline's pet project.
Well, you could tell me where we are.
We're near the River Rye, heading towards York. From there, we'll get a train to London.
Jonathan, Lucy and I visited York once, in the spring of 1889. Always so strange to hear familiar names in this brand new world.
Yes, well, plenty of time for sightseeing. Now Madeline's decided we're travelling exclusively off-road.
I agree with her notion. We cannot risk the lives of others in our endeavour. If those creatures are indeed tracking us from Whitby, Mr. Larkin, I assure you we will deal with them.
With what? Camping supplies? If they find us, they will tear us apart.
You seem to assume I am inexperienced in these matters. Let me assure you, I am not. No matter how distasteful we may find one another, I will not allow you to come to harm.
No? Oh, well, consider me miraculously at ease. For that pointless insanity and cheating stupidity.
Mr. Larkin remains as chipper as ever. Perhaps you and I will get to see York again, Johnny. I should like that very much. How I miss you.
This call may be recorded for training and monitoring purposes. Please press 1 to continue.
Oh, come on, please work. Please fucking work.
Hello. You are through to the Holmwood Foundation,
Oh, thank
home of
fuck.
the world's leading experts in classic hematology. Please select from one of the following options. Press 1 for research. Press 2 for charity resources. Press 3 for acquisitions. Press 4 to speak to an operator. Thank you.
Come on.
You have selected option 4. You are currently in a queue. Please hold.
God, this fucking hotline. If I had my phone, I could just...
Thank you for waiting. At the Holmwood Foundation, we have spent over a century working to improve our understanding of benign hematology and rare blood disorders, using generous donations from donors, patients, and the public to save and improve lives. You are still in a queue. We will get to you as soon as we can. Your call is important to us.
Yes, must be really important, mustn't it?
I am sorry. We cannot take your call at the moment. Please leave your name and number, and one of our team will get back to you.
Get back to me? Look, could someone please get my father, Mr. Harker, to call me? I don't care who he's having drinks with in Amsterdam. I don't care if he's not talking to me right now. I can't get hold of him, or my PA, or anyone. I'm having a fucking mental breakdown. I'm stuck travelling with a woman claiming to be possessed by a ghost. Oh, and in case you hadn't fucking noticed, the Whitby building has been destroyed and all the thralls have escaped, so please, just answer this message. Didn't say where I was. Fuck!
Hey, it's Arthur. Sorry I can't come to the phone right now. Probably beavering away underground. So leave a message after the beep and I'll get back to you ASAP.
Arthur, it's me. I'm so sorry I haven't been able to call. We've just found a phone box, and one of the jackets we stole had a few coins, so we get one call each. I don't know how much you even know about everything. The thralls escaped cold storage, and I... Oh, God, Arthur, they're hunting us, Mr. Larkin and I. We couldn't go back to Whitby. We're trying our best, but we've got no money, no phones. We even have to steal our camping supplies. We need your help. We're being... Oh, God, I sound insane even saying it out loud, but we're being haunted, possessed, whatever you want to call it, by the Harkers, the ones who set up... Well, oh, God, even just saying it... I don't have a number for you to call back on, but we're heading to London. You were still in Amsterdam when this all started, but I hope you're back now. And I hope I get to see you. Look, could you call my mum? Could you just tell her that I've been invited away with friends? I don't want her to worry. I know how much news she watches. Oh, God, Arthur. I hope I see you soon. So very much. I love you. Hi, Mina. We've stopped for the evening. I'm going to try putting up the tent soon, so we have a base before it gets dark. But, I wanted to say thank you for leaving such a nice message earlier, and for agreeing to my idea. It's strange, hearing my voice speaking back to me, but altered, with knowledge I've never had, memories of a time I've never experienced. But it means I can hear you, and you can hear me. And it's funny, but I don't feel quite so alone anymore. Like I have someone in my corner. Jeremy's gone off somewhere. He tried calling the office earlier, but he couldn't get through. So I suppose we're walking to London after all, which means I can't... Mina, I wanted to talk to you about something important to me, and it comes with a request. I've read about people in your time who transcended societal norms and expectations. Women who loved women. Men who loved men. People who lived beyond the bonds of binary gender. We have more words for it now, but that transcendence, those people, we never went away. I am a transgender woman, which means that while I was assumed to be male at birth, that is not the case, and I've been making strides for people to see me as I truly am. A therapist once told me that a body is sometimes like a garden that you tend so it can bloom, and that's what I've done. This body is mine, self-made, and I am so proud of it. Even through all this horror, it hasn't changed. Now, in a day or two, we'll need to replace the hormone patches on my back and leg. You can probably feel them. So if we can find a way, some way of doing that out here, well, it would mean an awful lot to me. I know Mr. Larkin doesn't think so, but whatever this is, whatever's happened to us, I believe if we work together, we'll have a better chance of surviving it. And I hope we can be friends, Mina. I think we could both do with a friend in all this.
You know who I am, so I won't be doing one of Madeline's little introductions. I'm doing this so you can see exactly the kind of bullshit you've thrown us into. Thrown me into. Did you hear that? I'm outside, stuck on watch. Must be, 9 p.m. Sun's still setting, but I keep seeing something out there, outlined against the dusk. I think it's circling us, making sure we can't fucking escape. It's been watching us since Madeline set up the tent. Probably longer, knowing our luck. I know what these things are, Jonathan. I've spent the last 20 years of my fucking life keeping them contained, watching them fester in cold storage. And as soon as you arrive, what happens? They escape. You did this to me. Madeline? They're after the head. I know they are. That's why they're following us. Got half a mind to just let them have it. If your wife ends up torn apart by ghouls, it's Madeline's fault. Not mine. No! 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 Stay away from me! Madeline!
Jeremy?
We have to run. Now!
What?
It's one of those things. It's following me.
And you led it here, to our camp?
What else was I supposed to do?
How do we stop it?
Stop it! Are you crazy? Do you have any idea how dangerous they are?
We can't run forever. How do we stop it? Fire? A stake through the heart? I mean, I'm sure that was... Get away from me! Oh, my God! Jeremy, please!
I can't do this! I'm not...
Jeremy?
Miss Townsend! Miss Townsend! Miss Townsend, listen to me. You must do exactly as I say.
Jonathan? But
We need something to stand for. All I have is a pen.
I thought I wasn't going to... No, wait, I have a tent peg. I have a tent peg.
Through the heart. Stab it through the heart.
Yeah.
That's me!
There's no time. Bug, it's coming closer.
You did it!
I did it. Oh, I think I'm going to be sick. Oh.
Well done. Very well done. Luckily this device wasn't crushed. I found your recorder.
This is Madeline. It's, an hour after Jeremy's last recording. As you heard, we were attacked by one of the thralls. Don't worry, Jonathan and I are safe. The thrall has been destroyed. We set fire to it as per Foundation protocols. I've never done that before. I've seen photos of thralls. Had I lasted any longer at the Foundation, one of my jobs would have been to monitor them down in the biological archives. Arthur promised he'd be with me when it happened, but seeing one up close, those blank white eyes, a mouth full of fangs no human jaw was meant to hold. It's hard to imagine those things used to be human. But you were almost one of them once, weren't you? Sorry, I'm exhausted. I'd very much like to sleep. I don't know if we should stay here or move on. I've treated my injuries as best I could with the first aid kit. I think they're mostly superficial, but you should be aware of them when you return. They sting a bit. I really wouldn't have survived tonight without Jonathan, Mina. He's been very kind. I wish I could just go home. Back to Arthur, back to my old life. But I can't. Can I? No matter what happens next, we have to keep moving, because those things are going to keep coming. You know, as much as I loathe to agree with Mr. Larkin, we've got to get the head to London. Arthur told me before he left that the whole point of retrieving Dracula's head in the first place was to ensure that even if they couldn't destroy him, they could at least... Oh. Well, do you think that's why all this happened? Because we finally unearthed the head?
Madeline? Madeline?
I'm in the tent.
Where's the thrall?
Jonathan and I took care of it. You don't have to worry.
You took care of it? How?
A tent peg. Seems they make excellent stakes.
That's actually quite impressive.
Yeah. Something I had to find out for myself after you ran away.
That's hardly... You know full well I have no control over the blackouts.
I saw the look on your face. I don't think you even fought for control when you realised what was happening.
It was a thrall, Madeline. A fucking thrall.
Exactly. I had no idea how to fight it. Jonathan had to help me.
Oh, for the last time, Jonathan Harker isn't real.
He was certainly real enough to help. Real enough to try. I think you ran away on purpose. I think you're a coward and a bully.
I don't care what you think of me. You know why? Because you are nothing, Miss Townsend, a junior archivist. You know nothing about these monsters, nothing about this fucking job. Maybe I will just leave you here with your recorder and your delusions of being Mina fucking Harker and let the thralls have you. I didn't mean that.
I think I'll take my chances sleeping outside tonight. Enjoy the tent.
Madeline, wait.
Madeline, I have listened to what happened earlier tonight. The pain that seemed to jolt me from sleep is proof enough of your misadventures. Jeremy refuses to speak with me. If I were feeling charitable, I would believe he feels ashamed. I can only express my relief at your safety and the safety of my husband. I had almost forgotten his willingness to face the undead so boldly, but he could not have defeated it without you. Thank you, both of you. I should sleep. In a manner of speaking, I suppose I'm keeping us both awake. But I wish to record something for you. I know how it is to occupy a body that does not feel one's own. To strive to become the person you know yourself to be. Your story is not so hard of a notion for me to grasp, nor is it something I am blind to in the lives of those I have cared for. I am honoured to have your trust, even after invading your life in the manner I have. This is your body, my dear Madeline. I am but a guest here, and within it I have found no fault or complication, simply your unyielding understanding and willingness to accommodate such a trying situation. I promise that whatever you require, we shall find it, as soon as we are able. I think I would very much like a friend in all this. It is nice not to feel so alone. Nothing else has disturbed us tonight. As I speak, I am watching the dawn. It is rich and red, flooding the sky with colour. There was a time I believed I might never see a sunrise again. Through your eyes, it is a beautiful sight to behold.
It's Jeremy. Madeline's packing up the tent. I don't know how this works. I don't even know if you'll hear this, Jonathan. I suppose you and Madeline are in cahoots about this whole documentation idea, so no doubt she'll hear it too. No, she'll turn it off the moment she realizes it's me. Frankly, I wouldn't blame her. I didn't mean to run away. You know that, right? Every time we switch, it's like I just fall asleep, total darkness. I hate it. Feels like maybe one day I won't wake up. I heard what you did in the recording. I wanted to... Fuck. Why am I even saying this? You're not real. You're just some idea in my head. Why would I be thanking you? But, whatever you are, you saved our lives. You did more than I bloody well could have done. More than I actually did. Which means I'm secretly a better person than I realize, or you're a braver man than I'll ever be. Maybe I was running away. Oh, Christ, forget it. Just forget I said anything. Fuck this.
You have been listening to The Holmwood Foundation, written and produced by Theo Trethewey and Georgia Cook. In this episode, Madeline Townsend and Mina Harker were voiced by Rebecca Root. Jeremy Larkin and Jonathan Harker were voiced by Seán Carlsen. Arthur Jones was voiced by Samuel Clemens. The Thralls and Foundation phone voice were voiced by Becky Wright. The newsreader was voiced by Jessica Carroll. Robert Swales was voiced by Luke Condor. The episode was directed by Samuel Clemens. Script editing by Kat Armitage. Sound design and engineering by Benji Clifford. The theme music was composed and produced by Duncan Muggleton, and the episode art was produced by Georgia Cook. The Holmwood Foundation podcast is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License. To view a copy of this license, visit creativecommons.org/licenses/by/4.0.
Hi, you've reached Maddie's voicemail. Sorry I can't pick up right now, but please leave your number and I promise I will call you back as soon as I can. Thank you.
Mads, it's me. Pick up, please. Maddie, please call me. I've just seen the security footage from the West End rebuilding. What the hell were you and Jeremy Larkin doing in the archives? Did you take the head, Mads? What happened? Look, I'm still in Amsterdam. I can't leave yet. Mr. Harker has decreed that no one is to leave until the containment breach has been neutralised. I'm coordinating the disaster from here, speaking to news teams, running damage control. The priority right now is assessing the West End rebuilding and ensuring all the limbs are accounted for. Basically, things are a mess. But if you can get hold of me somehow, please, I need to know you're okay. You are okay, aren't you? It's past midnight here in Amsterdam, so I reckon it's about 11 p.m. for you. Maybe you're just sleeping. Hopefully you'll get this. Good night, Maddie. I love you. Please call me back as soon as you can.